Toronto Regional Real Estate Board recently printed off its January 2023 Market Watch report, where it recaps everything that happened in the Greater Toronto Area for the first month of the year. And I am telling you, you're going to be reading headline after headline because this thing is a headline generator. What I'm also going to tell you is that the numbers are going to continue to get worse before they get better. Hello everybody and welcome back to the channel. It's me, Rob Marsiglio, sales representative with Keller Williams Referred Urban, out here in Durham Region serving the great people out this way, but bringing you content each and every week about all things Greater Toronto Area real estate. If you enjoy the video, please like it and subscribe to the channel if you enjoy getting weekly content like this that is just straight, objective, presenting the facts and what is going on in the real estate market today. One more thing, if you have any questions about anything I cover in this video, about Durham Region, about Greater Toronto Area real estate, and beyond, there is a link in the description of the video where you can book a call with me directly in my calendar. Enough of all that though, let's get right into it. Starting things off with the Market Watch, and this paragraph is the most important one from this first page. This is all available to you, the public, as well. So I will link a description to the Market Watch in the description of this video below for you to read through more thoroughly, breaking down each market segment. But here it says reported 3,100 sales in January 2023. That's right in line with what we saw last month, December 2022, but down 44.6% from January of 2022. Average selling price was 1.038 million. That was slightly lower than December, but down 16.4% compared to January of 2022. So those will be the two big headline grabbers you'll read about. Sales totals down 44.6% and average prices across the board down 16.4%. Let's take a look at a couple other numbers that they highlight. So over here in infographic form, you can see the 3,100 sales for January 2023, down from 5,594 in 2022. And the price highlighted down here, again, about 1.04 million for 2023 and 1.24 million for January of 2022. And here's a few other key metrics we want to keep an eye on year over year. Sales we talked about down 44.6%. New listings down only 3.7%. And that's actually resulted in a massive 124.6% increase in active inventory. Now, if you're a buyer, this may seem like good news to you. There's lots to choose from out there. Unfortunately, the reason there's so much of this active inventory is because of the affordability conditions, first of all. And second of all, sellers not being realistic about affordability conditions right now, not willing to really accept much less than what they were seeing sold for, 8 months ago before prices really started to decline. So a lot of this active inventory is either overpriced just in general, or for the condition of the home, it's just not great, and buyers aren't just snapping anything up nowadays. They're being a lot more selective with what they will offer on. So you're seeing many buyers pile in on one property as opposed to kind of the love being spread amongst all property types. Wrap up this summary by talking about the days on market. So listing days on market is up 123% from last year, and the property days on market, so the entire time it takes for a property to sell, is up about 128%. So year over year price changes went from, it was 9.3% down back in December. It jumped to 16.3% in January, year over year price declines. And it's going to jump again come February, and I'm going to show you why right now. This graph you're looking at is a chart of the average sale price across the Toronto kind of TRREB Market Watch areas, and you can see that here's December 2021. This is the biggest run up that we saw in prices in a kind of 2-month stretch, from 1.2 million roughly to over 1.3 million in February 2022. So if we're seeing this massive jump from January to February and prices are kind of declining a bit or leveling off, clearly we're going to see a bigger year over year decrease in prices reported in February of 2023. Now, there's no guarantee as to how big that year over year decrease will be in February, but I pulled some numbers to try to give you a bit better idea of what to expect come February, so that there's no shock factor when you're reading headlines come the end of this month. So worse before better. December, asterisk, is because it's actually 2021 to 2022. We saw 9.3% year over year change. January, the drop was 16.3%, 16.4% according to Market Watch. I pulled my data directly from Stratus and Trendly, so it's a little bit different. And then I did a couple calculations for you for a few different scenarios. So let's say prices don't move at all between January and February, that they stay at this kind of 1.04 million mark. That would represent a 22% decline from the $1.33 million peak that we saw in February of 2022. Decrease in price from December to January was about 1%. So what I did is I said, what would happen if prices changed 2% either way? What would that look like in terms of a percent change year over year come end of February? So let's say for some reason prices go up 2%. You're looking at a average price point of about 1.06 million at the end of the month, which would represent a 20.5% drop year over year. And if things went the other way and they dropped by 2% from this 1.04 million that we're seeing in January to 1.02 million about, it would be a 23.6% drop year over year in prices. So that's kind of the ballpark I'm looking at for next month leading up to it. It'll be somewhere between 20 and 24% is the average price drop that's going to be reported year over year. Now after February, you can see prices started to correct back down all the way to July. So call this good news or bad news, it just is what it is. I feel like after we get through February into March, assuming prices kind of continue on the same trajectory that they were, maybe they're not falling quite as quickly as they were last year, we will start to see that year over year gap shrink as we go through 2023. What are some of the numbers I'm keeping my eyes on to help me determine where prices are headed? Let's run through those very quickly to wrap this video up. So the first number to keep my eyes on is months of inventory. That's spiked pretty quickly to 5.1 months of inventory. It has since kind of normalized, kind of back in line with what we saw in the last quarter of 2022. So if this number kind of stays in check, in that kind of 3 range, maybe 3 and below, I would expect that to be a bit of support for a price floor and not seeing too many price drops going forward. On top of months of inventory, I'll be checking on these numbers, which is the offers per new listing, as kind of a buyer sentiment check. I feel like if we are seeing a lot of offers per new listing, that could be an indication that maybe, you know, buyers are looking more favorably on the market, maybe willing to spend a little bit more. So again, you can see what this trend has done since the start of the year in Toronto, both on the freehold and the condo side here, and what it's done in Durham, York, and Peel region as well. So these are kind of charts that I'll be updating every couple weeks, every month, and bringing to you just to kind of give you an idea of what sentiment is like out there amongst home buyers. The big thing that is going to overhang everything we've talked about and really drive everything is just affordability. So rate hikes will play a small part. Apparently they're done going forward, according to some people. We won't really know that until we officially hit a couple meetings where they don't raise rates anymore. If they do continue to raise rates, that will probably put some more stress on current home owners. As we talked about last week, home buyers, any more rate hikes isn't affecting how much they qualify for because fixed rates are lower than variable rates right now. So we will keep our eyes on rate hikes in terms of affordability factors for current homeowners, because that could lead to some distressed sales down the road. And it's really these distressed sales and like a flood of distressed sales that will kind of unstick this price bottom, that will allow prices to drop more than what we've seen so far to date. Because in reality, if a homeowner isn't happy with the number, isn't in a situation where they need to move, they don't need to sell. And to be honest with you, we don't really have an idea of what true market value is at that point. That's it for this week. I hope I've kind of outlined why next month the numbers are going to be even more headline grabbing than we saw this month. And I hope I explained why and kind of gave you an idea of where that year over year price drop will be come the end of February, just so you're not shocked by it when it does happen. Once again, if you have any questions about this video, there's the link down in the description to book a call with me. If you enjoyed the content, please like the video, subscribe to the channel, turn those notifications on, and share it with a friend so I can reach more people just like you. Until we speak again next time, please stay safe and cheers. Hey there, I really appreciate you watching this video all the way to the end. If you enjoyed it, I've got another video for you right here on the screen. And, you know, while you're here, maybe just click on my face, subscribe to. I don't want you to miss anything going forward.